God, I was filing my nails.
And that's a classic line. The opening.
Hello and welcome.
Hello and welcome to Gamers Hell. Thank God I was filing my fucking nails. Maybe we'll dive into that one first. Folks, hello, welcome. I am Rach Tenkar. This is my wife, Rachel. We do this on a weekly basis. We talk about gamers' health and things that you can do to benefit yourself, others, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. There's a lot of aspects to this. So I thought, until Rachel's comment, that I thought I was going to start off with one topic, but we're going to delve right in with the mental health aspect, okay? So, earlier today, someone in our gaming community brought to my attention that a lower life form in our gaming community, and I'm saying that politely, but a very, very minor presence, 1/10 of subscribers of this channel. This channel is not a huge number of subscribers, so let's not. I'm not tooting my own horn when it comes to subscribers. I'm happy with it, but in the grand scheme of things, I am a speck of dust in the gaming community, and if I'm a speck of dust, this individual's a pimple on the ass.
That's how we are all day long.
It's a speck of dust. So, this individual earlier today put out a short video, basically calling out everybody and anybody who has a presence in the OSR and has more of a...
Well, the poor thing was like, oh, please pay attention to me.
Yeah.
And these are the assholes.
These are the assholes.
And it was nothing but that. It was 5 minutes of a wasted... I think it was a 5-minute video.
If that.
It was so schlock. And it pissed me off. So I was like, wow, I'm glad I was filing my nails. Because that would have been... I would have been so mad for like having wasted 5 minutes on that.
So I figured, all right, I'll go to the individual's channel, and that's it. We watched the latest video, and thankfully it was a relatively short video, and I had to wait till I got name dropped because the individual goes through and names a bunch of people,
many people,
and then he starts ranting about how they're all fake and all that stuff, and then he goes ranting on again with the second batch of people.
Please subscribe.
Not at the end. That was at the end.
Oh
yeah. Please subscribe. And
if you like my vibe, please subscribe. You didn't say that. I made it. Stupid.
But here's the thing. All right. In all honesty, and he named the number of people. I'll tell you why he's pissed at me. He's pissed at me because he treated people like shit in my live streams in the past.
Oh, that individual?
Yes. I don't remember what happened with that.
He was fishing then. He was looking to have some kind of attention then, and
right.
He never got it. So
right. So
I was like, "Bugger off, you weirdo."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. After a couple of weeks of him being a general dick,
you put him out.
Yeah, and I think that. So that's why Tenkar's evil.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't know there was that backstory.
So that's the backstory of that. And of course, he dared everybody to talk about him directly because they're all going to say they're going to ignore me.
No, we'll certainly do it indirectly, though.
Yeah.
You shouldn't benefit from
We're not going to give
anything that Eric has.
Yeah. We're not going to give you traffic, sir. Damn you.
It's
damn
so
you.
Bad.
Damn you to hell, sir. Damn you to hell. However, the best line I did see was somebody in my Discord server who said, if a plant is dependent on him, its life is in danger. I think that sums up the mental state of the individual in question.
Even the cactuses. Guys.
Even the cactuses. Oh my God. Your aloe vera might be in danger of dying. You didn't take care of it for the last 17 months. Oh, it might die? Not yet, but it may. But in any case, mental health is important, and it's something that actually came up earlier in the week because Wizards of the Coast had their summit, their creator summit. And by the way, when Wizards talks about creators, they aren't talking about people creating gaming content. They're talking about shit like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but but as I suck, Wizards of the Coast ass, because they are taking negative feedback.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's so interesting when you look at somebody who feels taxed. Like when somebody is saying they need mental health services, from a company that they're contributing something.
But they're not employed by, they aren't freelancers
exactly. They're
of.
not employed. It's not, they're if they're even 1099 by them,
They're
like
not.
that's stretching.
Yeah, they're not receiving a paycheck from Wizards of the Coast. What they do, again, I would call them influencers. Wizards of the Coast calls them content creators. All right, because Wizards of the Coast doesn't create gaming content. Why the fuck would they? So they were like, at this, we're taking the slings and arrows that should be going to Wizards of the Coast because we're talking nicely about you and we're pushing your gaming, your agenda.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what are you asking them for in return? Like, is Wizards responsible for them selling their heart? Them selling their soul, like so that they can have
the devil,
to have some kind of clicks or some kind of,
exactly,
if they think it's going to bring subscribers or some kind of little,
they're doing it for
some kind of little package.
They're doing it for a benefit. And folks, here's the thing. And I did a video on this earlier in the week, but if you're going to do this, now, we're doing Gamers Health, we do because...
You got to get a thick skin.
Well, really, but Gamers Health, we do this because it's for the benefit of the community. I love it when I wake up to PMs from people from across the industry that are like, hey, I got an idea for Gamers Health. And they're like, I didn't know so-and-so watched Gamers Health. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
But you need a thick skin if you're going to do this on any kind of basis.
Yeah.
Because the more subscribers, again, the jackass this morning that decided to rant about everybody.
His goal was very clear.
Yeah, his goal was clear. I dare you to send me.
So you can kind of laugh at,
right? But here's the thing, folks. You need a thick skin. I get attacked, all right, for things.
I get attacked.
Rach gets attacked. Well, we get sued, all right. But we get.
Yes, my skin might be transparent, but it's pretty thick.
You need a thick skin if you're going to put yourself out there, and if you're going to put yourself out there, essentially as, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, and it doesn't apply to everybody that was at the summit, but if you basically are prostituting yourself for Wizards of the Coast benefit, putting yourself out there, right?
And opening yourself to be abused.
To be abused, yes.
It's something that you maybe don't believe in.
Right. Because Wizards of the Coast owes you nothing. Okay? You have to understand that. So if you can't take pushback because you're spewing the company line, all right? I get pushback from people because I'm not spewing the company line. I get people like, yeah, you just hate Wizards of the Coast, and you're this, and you're that. And it's like, oh, whatever. Now, some of it.
And then we get other, feedback that you're being paid by them.
Yeah. Yeah. But by the way, the same, I'm gonna use individuals, all right, that believe that I am shilling for Wizards of the Coast, okay, also believe that and if anybody watching this thinks I ever shill for Wizards of the Coast, they're watching a different channel.
Tabletop Time.
But they believe that through one source or another, WotC is paying me. WotC is fucking paying me for coverage. They should be asking for a refund. All right? Hell, it'd be a breach of contract. Because I'm the worst coverage that WotC ever would want to get. All right? So I don't do any of this stuff because, I need to get it in. I call shit as I see it. If watching,
and there's no end to really be had, to be honest.
No, and I don't do it to the clicks. I am monetized, and I am not embarrassed to show people that my average monetization for a given day is probably about $4. Okay, I'm not embarrassed to show that. So I don't. Well, I've had people claim, "Oh, you just covered X topic for clicks," dude. I'm not worried about. I don't know the large McDonald's fries I can buy in a day if I wanted to. it's not a concern. Okay, it really isn't a concern. I'm not doing it for the clicks. I do it because I think the topic needs to be covered. So if you can't take negative attention, don't put yourself out in the public sphere and then go, oh, people are pushing back. Watsi,
Or they called me this. Yeah.
Watsi, you need to pay my medical bills. You need to pay. You need to get me a shrink and put me on medication. I'm not going to throw any of them out there because I don't know what they would need.
No,
But
we don't want to
no,
do that to anybody.
no. But what I'm just saying is that's your responsibility. Nobody put a gun to your head and told you to put yourself out there. Okay.
And it's like if we have that benefit through our workplace, or most people would have that benefit to some degree through their, whatever insurance they had,
Right.
government, commercial, it's on us to take care of our mental health.
Yeah. It's just like, Watsi, you owe us.
Yes,
Watsi.
we might need services at different times during life. Some people need it for all their life, but that's neither here nor there. Just knowing when you need it, and I don't think you'd leave it to your employer to tell you
or your non-employer
when you need it.
My non-employer.
Yes. Yes.
Just because Watsi sends you a box of goodies while on a seasonal basis, it's a bit of a payoff or payola, doesn't make you an employee of Watsi.
Yeah, that's how a lot of the YouTube stuff works. Like it's all the PR that gets sent, and it's not really, that you work for them. Like some people will say, "Oh yes, working with."
I'm working with Watsi on this. You're not working with them for anything. You're taking some free shit so you can do a positive
You're getting
review.
their PR, and
So it really,
whatever that means to you.
It just that just blew my mind. I think I vented enough today. Do you think I vented enough on that?
Yes, but I mean, something too. Let's be a little constructive, maybe. A little constructive in terms of like,
what?
When do you think it's time for somebody to start to look at, well, when might I need to check into things?
Well, I think that I think if you're blaming Watsi for not giving you mental support, for not providing it for you, for not providing resources, I think you've reached that point. And personally,
right, when you're feeling burnt out, and it's not, we don't mean to say just that, oh, it's PR and whatever, you're not their employee or whatever. Right. But the very fact that someone would raise that would suggest that people feel burnt out.
Yeah.
And maybe that's sort of like, what do I do when I feel burnt out? Do I need to seek help? Do I need to maybe change up some of the PR that I take and change that feeling of having to do certain things? Maybe you
take a break.
Yeah. Or, what else do you do in your life, to be able to combat those feelings?
If you think Watsi should give you mental health benefits, you need to get your head examined. Thank you, Tom. But honestly, if you need a little insight into what's going on into the hobby, these are the people that are taking the attention that they feel Watsi should be getting. Just because I shill for Watsi doesn't mean I should take the hits for Watsi. Guess what?
Wherever in the way that this culture works now, any alignment that you have can be used against you. Yeah. Whether it's woke, whether it's conservative, whether it's anything in between.
But being neutral or being somewhere in the middle means that I get slammed from the far right and the far left because I don't take one side or the other on the vast majority of issues. The assumption is I am therefore, if I'm not on your side, obviously I'm on their side. You know what? In between two sides, there's a fucking middle, and people forget that shit. And you don't have to have a channel that is devoted to covering Woods of the Coast and being a, a, a good content creator for them. There's a reason why all these people got invited, whether in person or virtually, to attend this summit. And it wasn't because they were critics of Wizards of the Coast. Okay.
Oh, they were having this summit to say they had this summit, and we hashed things out.
Yeah, we brought.
Yeah, we spoke truth. They got to speak truth to power.
They didn't expect
and it went so great.
They didn't expect to get criticized by people that are there, they believe, to for their benefit, and that's when it becomes a huge issue. Civilization. We played the board game.
Is that what he's talking to?
He's talking about the computer game.
Civilization.
Yeah,
that's the one that we played with Jack.
Yes.
Oh,
that was huge.
Yeah.
These are the people that grew up in the participation trophy generation. That's what I said when I first covered this. It's the participation trophy. Even more so, it's I need my safe space. Because the real world does not give you a fucking safe space. All right, folks. If you take anything from this episode, all right,
there's nothing safe about this place.
the reality is, I mean, your safe place is in bed under your sheets doing this.
Yeah.
All right. But that's not the real world, right? That's your bed. You step out into the real world. You step out onto YouTube, Rumble, or any of these other places. And yes, I've heard, why do you have your videos up on Rumble too? Because, hey, YouTube has taken down one video. But YouTube has... the last one I thought they would take down the situation. But they've taken down a video.
Leave it to YouTube to make sense.
I've decided that I need to have a secondary place for my videos in case, YouTube, blows itself up or some shit like that. And Rumble is the most viable alternative.
Oh, I didn't know you were posting on there.
Yeah, it automatically shows up there. But
good.
But I lost my train of thought. But
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. But seriously, you put yourself out there. Don't bitch or complain when people go, oh, hey, fresh target. You made yourself a target. And then you bitch or complain that you're a target. Ugh. I never understood it. Shadow, welcome. It was good to see you.
Yeah.
So, now, I'm going to transition us to the main topic of tonight, of which I've done absolutely no prep and absolutely a shit ton of prep, depending on how you look at it. Because when I say I've done like no prep, I didn't put together a list. I didn't get any like show and tell material, which I know I've done on occasion. Don't get spoiled by that. I don't normally do show and tell. But we're talking a little bit tonight about how to eat healthy. And I have news for you when I say this. What's healthy for me is not going to be the same diet that's going to be healthy for you. Like I have different requirements. I have low carb, low sodium requirements, right? Now, maybe you don't have to worry so much about your carbs. It gives you different options. Maybe you don't have to worry as much about your sodium. Now, I worry about it to the point where I don't cook with salt and all that stuff. I don't flavor with salt. But I don't always necessarily like count my salt intake by looking at.
You don't count your salt milligrams.
No, and because it's
sodium milligrams.
Right, yeah. It's snuck into everything. So you need to understand it. Like initially, when I had my congestive heart failure, I was told keep my salt intake between 1,500 and 1,800 milligrams. Then after 3 months, my heart failure specialist was like, keep it under 2,000. And then after that, he was like, just keep it reasonable, which meant that, yes, my heart was doing well and sodium wasn't really having an effect. That's great. Does that mean I can...
reasonable does not mean, go to town on salty French fries.
By the way, Tom has a comment from our prior topic, but it's good, though.
Oh.
35 to 40 years ago, my safe space was sci-fi and fantasy novels. Exactly.
Yeah.
If I needed to escape into my own world, and we all had that, I would ride a city bus to work, my head buried in my book, and you're timing out, oh, how close am I? Can I start? Will I be able to end somewhere in like a sub-chapter? You don't leave in the middle of a scene. But yeah, I did that. People don't read these days, so let's not even get it. Or if they what they do is on their Kindle or something like that. But here's the thing: when you cook for yourself, you tend to eat healthy. When you eat out, you tend to not eat healthy. Now there are healthy options or healthier options when you eat out. When we still had our local pub, Rach would often get one of the salads at our local pub, but she would bring her own salad dressing because you know what's being put on your salad until they put the salad dressing on, and then you're
Yeah,
kind of you know roll the fucking dice as to calories, carbs, sodium, right?
right. So it's something that was easy to count and easy to track. Um, with calorie wise, if you were journaling.
Yes.
And so that was so nice, and it got to be very ingrained and like very comfortable. And I wasn't drinking, when I went there, so it would be like Diet Coke or water.
Yeah. It was cheaper for me. I will say that.
Yeah.
It saved in my pocketbook. But so this morning I got a series of PMs from a member of this community, uh, a known individual, and I was like, they give me a topic for Gamers Health. I had no idea, and I'm not going to name them because although they suggested I talk about this on Gamers Health, I don't know if they really wanted to be named, but it was an interesting topic because they started
Right. If in doubt, don't.
right. They started a keto diet. Um, and Don, eating healthy is tough. For me, I will admit, I sadly have poor self control since my stent. I have been good, but it is a massive battle for me. Tina's really there for me,
Yes.
reminding me. Well, here's the thing: this individual started just about a week ago. Started a keto diet. I am not recommending a keto diet for anybody. I'm not a medical physician. I am not a dietitian or anything.
Well, you have to do your own research and see what
Works for you.
is going to be comfortable for you.
But they did state that since they started this keto diet, they've lost some weight and they've felt more energetic, and their mental health feels a bit better. When you eat when you eat shit, not literally, but when you eat poor foods, you generally get poor health. It just eating healthy is good. Now this individual,
You're gonna be inflamed, like you're gonna have inflammation happen.
yeah,
Like if you just take a crazy lot of, like, if you take fast food like all day every day, or you're not doing anything to help yourself be comfortable. Like if you have other conditions like arthritis, it's gonna exacerbate the conditions that you already have, and you're gonna feel them even stronger.
yeah.
So when you do eat in a more healthful way, by and large, you feel better.
So
Another thing too, for me,
mhm.
like I went to the doctor this week and got my blood drawn. So, my A1C level was lower than the last time. It was 5.5. So, I'm not near meeting the criteria for like pre-diabetes. And then my uh my thyroid stuff was good. Everything was green. And then even my good cholesterol was up more, which is, a positive thing. It was in the red because I didn't have enough. And so my triglycerides has been the thing that, and my bad cholesterol, that was in the green, which generally it doesn't do that, not for a long time. And then the triglycerides, this is like, I guess it was like 20 points above, but it was the lowest I'd had in a very long time.
Which is good.
Like since I've been going to doctors,
Right.
like in the last like 5-6 years. So I was happy to see that, and so it does pay off, dietetic change, in the way that you feel more control around what your body's doing.
It certainly helps. Now, uh, Don, oh my God, you're so right. What we put into you gut affects you. Example, I was told no sugar is best I can. So since my
Yeah.
stent, I cut the sugar 70%
Yeah.
out. And I admit I feel different. And Sat Saturnine. I hope I'm getting that right. Keto for life. So
Yeah. Oh, cool.
here again, the person that reached out to me today was like, I don't know how the prices are where you live, but for them, they go deli roast beef is cheaper than actually going out and buying beef or steak
And cooking it up.
and cooking it up. Here you get meat that's cut up real thin, and you can just put it in a hot skillet and do with it as you will. And I was like, it's like, because they're trying to find foods to eat that they're going to enjoy on a healthier diet. In their case, keto.
Mm-hmm.
So, right away, I thought, I've enjoyed doing this stuff when we've done it with our food. I've made like stir fries. I've made vegetable stir fries, and the secret to any of this stuff, folks, is you need. I'm gonna probably repeat this more than once. You need a very good collection of spices. And when you get your collection of spices, I really recommend that you find spices that don't have sodium added to it or minimal sodium. Something like 80 milligrams or less per suggested serving of your spice. The reason is salt is an inexpensive flavor enhancer.
Like, here's a really good example: the taco um seasoning mix
Yes,
that we use.
the El
That's
Paso,
from
whatever.
Mrs. Dash.
Right, the El Paso stuff is very salty.
Yes.
Mrs. Dash, you can get no sodium stuff, so you gotta really look. So now, Rich,
Mrs. Dash makes the packet.
Yeah.
We have like
we have tons.
so much backup.
I was making so much chili. Rach, you remember the name of our the spices that we the brand that Casey likes?
Flavor God.
Flavor God. Thank you. I was having a senior moment. Flavor God. Check out Flavor God.
And then there's that rooster one.
That's
Glenn has.
Glenn's wife does, but she doesn't. I don't know if she's still doing that.
Oh no.
But Flavor God. Check out the Flavor God spice website around holidays. They give pretty big discounts. You can get a big spice collection. And you might go, what do I want to spend $40 on 13 different spices? Because you know what? When you have 13 different spice blends, you can literally get the taste that you want without using sodium. I have probably about 40 different spice combinations and blends from different companies. Flavor God's the one I have the most of. And this is something I did. I ordered Flavor God when I was in the hospital with like congestive heart failure. Because when I was in the hospital with congestive heart failure, almost 3 years ago, Rach and my sister were in this household clearing out the closet for anything.
I was clearing it out and she was taking it home.
So, this is
which was great because this way it wasn't wasting food.
Right. So when I heard about the suggestion of using basically roast beef, I was thought of like steak. I was like, what you're going to use in a sandwich, and I was like, all right, well then take some mixed vegetables. I always like my mixed vegetables that have peppers, but like maybe peppers and broccoli sliced up, a little onion, and stir fry that in with some cut up ribbons of the steak. Take a low sodium soy sauce. You can find it still has a lot of sodium.
We got that from Amazon.
Amazon. Okay, I'm just throwing things out there. Low sodium soy sauce is amazing, and you let this stuff cook up with a little low sodium soy sauce to give it the flavor. And then maybe you go in and you go, I want to throw a little garlic on it, maybe a little onion powder, maybe a little fresh pepper, and then put it over. I don't know. It could be
shirataki noodles.
Shirataki noodles. We've done that. If you want to make it like a pasta, or you can use cauliflower rice.
Yeah.
Which I can make fried rice using the soy sauce and some flavoring, and it comes out very good.
It does.
I use that with chicken and vegetables. These are little things that you can do and this isn't just the only ones, but this is just stuff that the meal is actually inexpensive when you make this yourself. You're probably feeding two people for, I don't know, $4, $5.
Hmm.
If you were to eat out, you're talking what, 30, $40, and it wouldn't be as healthy. Now, if you are going to eat out, listen, I'm not saying cut out McDonald's. Or we still do it once or twice a week. We're doing McDonald's or a fast food because, oh, look, my blood sugar's down to 85. I need to get food in me quickly. Let's get. I can afford to get a triple cheeseburger and fries. Um, but even if you're doing McDonald's, order your fries with no salt. Order your burger with no salt. You can do it. That
There are
it's
certain things, little steps that you can take that lessen the harm.
yes. Um, Don, if you want to eat regionally and choose one that may sound intimidating, but it is simple, inexpensive, and so flavorful and good for you, Indian food.
Oh, I love
Curries
it.
are awesome. I'm not big on curries. I do enjoy some Indian foods. Um, but again, if you're gonna eat Indian food, they're gonna serve it with rice. And the rice is delicious, don't get me wrong.
It's a basmati rice.
Yeah.
It's not like the regular white rice.
Right. But it's still high in carbs. If you're somebody who has to watch your carbs,
Mhm.
sitting down
And
in
you'd rather
Indian
spend those on the naan?
probably, you know,
Uh,
but and here's things taking it a little further.
but then maybe he's talking about some other region. Like
No,
we think of like the northern Indian cuisine, like
but
very creamy
yeah, but
and
I
it's very creamy and very calorie dense sometimes.
but all the Asian dishes are very much rice centric because rice is the default carb, just like with American dishes, it's like breads are like the default carb,
Hmm.
and everything we eat is
Or
between
we could
bread.
do curries at home
You can do curries at home, and then you could
and use
swap.
the different rice. Use the
Uh, Palak paneer is one of his favorite Indian dishes. Lamb and spinach. Rach would never go for
oh
the lamb,
no,
but she would substitute chicken.
yeah, absolutely.
I think I've had a paneer, but I think it was chicken. Uh, sorry, Tom, love bread, dude. I love bread too, and
Yes.
you can be a diabetic and find options that aren't going to be as harmful. You can find low carb bread online. They're expensive as all shit.
Or how do you call it? Uh, it's a process they do with the grain. Bloomed? No.
Oh, Don said if Indian food served in India, it's served with no rice, and instead it's served with non bread,
Yeah, I love
and they
that
use flours with
bread.
less gluten. Okay,
Yes,
but
which
here's
is good for me.
yeah, but here's the thing: when you're doing all this stuff, you have to figure out what is best for you. Like our breakfast, our breakfast has changed. Our default breakfast used to be me make an omelet, and I would take frozen peppers and onions and fry them up in a pan, and then I would pour the eggs on top of that, and it was a whole. I'd be doing two pans, one for Rach, one for me, and then put a little cheese in. Also had to make sure I cooked up some sausage. Now, does it add some carbs? Yes, it doesn't add as much. It doesn't. The carb gain isn't huge. I don't spike very much, but what we do now, and it's still fairly not really say low carb, but it is still a fairly healthy breakfast. Is those Jimmy Dean mini biscuits with sausage, and I heat those up. That's what and I make uh, eggs. We each get one egg, and the equivalent of usually about one egg white. I use the egg whites in the container. And by the way, I've noticed this: if you can get egg whites, not egg substitute. Because if you get the egg whites, they're good until the date on the container, which is usually about a month and a half out when you get it. If you get egg substitute, where it's usually where they change the color of the egg whites to look like eggs and fool the stupid. Um, the ones that I found here at our Stop and Shop always say, and from 3 different brands, always say use within 7 days of opening. Well, if I got to use it within 7 days of opening, then what purpose? What good is it? Because to get a big container, I'm not going to use up all those egg whites because I'm only using them to stretch the eggs. Now, eggs are very nutritious. Eggs can also be calorie dense, and eggs can also be high in cholesterol. But by using one egg and fluffing up the egg whites to make it equivalent of about two eggs, I don't realize I'm only eating one egg yolk. It feels delicious with a little cheese.
Yeah,
but
just eggs is yummy.
it really works out, pretty good. So that's our usual breakfast. We also get some pre-done breakfast. The Jimmy Dean egg sandwiches that don't have any bread.
Egg witch.
The egg witches, because you don't always have time to cook. You get up late, going out to an appointment, whatever. We have low carb cereals. Used to be you could only get them online. Now we find them at Walmart.
That's true. I just like the snack mix. That stuff from Catalina Crunch. That's in the Stop and Shop now, like mainstream supermarket.
Yeah, the Catalina Crunch.
And their cereal too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's options if you want to snack and be low carb, or if you want to snack and find healthier options. Now, maybe for you, it has to be gluten-free. Go to the gluten-free section of the supermarket, and there's gluten-free cookies, there's gluten-free pasta, there's gluten-free breads. You can find them. You're going to pay more. Now, people go, once I have to start paying more for healthy options, well, here's the thing. You should, when people say healthy options, your healthy options should include vegetables.
Right. There's a certain aspect of when you eat healthy, it's like, it shouldn't be like, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to get like the things in the center aisles that say that it's healthy on the box. It's more staying on the outer aisles.
I need my snack
to get your nutritional needs met. Vegetables, proteins.
Right. So here's a little, like,
if you can.
Here's the little hidden secret about, quote, eating healthy. Your snacks are going to be expensive. Don't get me wrong. However, you can eat and snack healthily if you do like what Rach does. And Rach, you get your hummus, and you can get carrots, and you can get celery.
Oh, to make the cucumber spears.
Or cucumbers.
Or peppers.
Right.
And dip it in the hummus. Yeah.
Oh, fat, salt, and cholesterol haven't been a problem for me, but carbs. So my suggestion, okay, if you're going to start cooking, right, and I don't normally think, well, I don't normally cook for myself, and now I'm going to start cooking for myself. If you want to eat healthy and save money, guess what? Cooking for yourself is how you do it. Now, little hidden secret that most supermarkets don't want to tell you. Your best buy, dollar for dollar, when it comes to vegetables, is not the fresh vegetables. Why? Because fresh gets picked early.
Oh, so it can be, that's already going bad.
so it can be fresh when it hits supermarket, and canned is canned. It's really not the best choice. Your most nutritious choice when it comes to vegetables is frozen. Yeah. Your frozen vegetables generally aren't that expensive. You can find them.
Freshness.
That's basically it. Yes. Because that's what they want you to see when you open it up, right?
Yeah.
So that is an amazing way to get it, and then we also less loss of what you're going to be cooking, because with vegetables we buy stuff with the best of intent and then forget that we have it.
Yeah.
With fruits we buy stuff with the best of intent.
Yeah.
And then forget that we have it.
Well, sometimes with vegetables too.
Right. So if you get frozen, now you're not going to snack on, I don't know, frozen carrots. You're not going to snack on frozen peppers. You can slice peppers down and snack on them.
Mm-hmm.
You can dip them in, again, you can dip them in hummus. You can dip them in avocado,
or whatever you like.
Right.
You like a ranch sauce, maybe you could get
a little sour cream and make your own ranch sauce. Here's the thing. Eating healthy can be done without increasing your budget much, but it is going to increase your time. It is not as convenient. Again, making breakfast
it's not something that's like an all or nothing,
right? You can
venture, like maybe you choose one night a week where or like a Sunday where you cook a couple of meals or even just one meal, to sort of get yourself started, to give yourself, that practice and, comfort doing more cooking.
Right. I mean, you can listen,
Practice.
if you want to do meals that you can do up in like bulk, make chili. When Rach was working,
Yeah, that was always
I
good.
used to make chili, and that chili wasn't high in carbs. It we wasn't high in fat. We used I used ground turkey with a little ground beef,
Hmm.
because the ground beef gives the flavor and the turkey lowers the fat. You know, it may pauper night. Sorry, may even require meal planning. It might. You know, like I said, our breakfast, there's a routine to it. Now, I watched a video the other day with talked about multiple studies that there's uh, a diet reset for type 2 diabetics with insulin resistance.
Oh, does it involve fasting?
No,
Oh.
it does, however, involve, um, oh my God, oatmeal.
Mm.
And what it basically is that for your 3 meals for 2 days, you eat oatmeal. And you would say, well, oatmeal is high in carbs, and it certainly is. And I'm not saying they're not saying that you eat oatmeal that are the instant oats. They're saying you eat oatmeal that are steel cut.
And you cook the life out of it
You cook the life out of it.
to
And
make it soft for
what
yourself.
happens is it apparently, in the study that they've shown, it lowers insulin resistance as much as 40%.
Is that because it's
High.
if you cook it long enough, it becomes resistant
No,
starch?
no, no, no.
Hmm.
But and you think that it's carbs, and it is, but its glycemic index isn't as high as other stuff. But this reset, apparently,
What's the basis
I
of
don't,
it being
I don't know.
oatmeal and like resetting that?
I don't know, but the reset
Yeah,
lasts.
let's look at the research of
The
that.
reset lasts potentially as long as a month
Yeah,
for those 2 days.
because there's another diet that I was looking at. It's the autoimmune protocol diet, and I was like, shit, what is left? No nightshades.
Oh,
No nightshades like tomatoes
oh
and
yeah,
peppers.
yeah. No, can't cut down. They're
Yeah,
flavor.
no, I was like, those are some of the best vegetables.
Yeah,
So, what am I gonna do? Yeah, broccoli's left, but
yeah. No, you can
and
only
then
eat so
like
much broccoli.
no dairy at
I
all.
can't cut out my dairy. Sorry,
So I'm like,
can't do it.
what are they saying dairy is doing to the autoimmune system?
Uh,
Because it covers all autoimmune disorders.
so Pauper Night recommends using an instant pot. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we use for our chilies. Um, there are many healthy things you can make in it, definitely, because you can do the long cook in it and tenderize meats that might not be, or vegetables that just need to get the tenderization just ripped out of them to get to that point. So yeah, and the instant pot is also convenient. You set it up, you put it down, you let it cook, you come back, however long the recipe says. You don't. The preparation is pretty easy. Saturnine. I suffer from the inability to digest saccharides, and this has led to all sorts of
Oh.
issues. Well, and that's, well, I believe I hadn't heard of that before, so in my opinion, I'd probably say it's probably uncommon. There
Hmm.
are a lot of things that people are allergic to or can't digest. A lot of this stuff is undiagnosed.
Yeah.
Okay, we had a friend again from our local pub who didn't know that they were right gluten intolerant until they got tested for all these different issues,
Oh yes.
and then they was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Yeah, my last like 3 years of hell is because I became gluten intolerant." People don't know, and a lot of your doctors don't normally test for a lot of this stuff. It really is. It's a shame. Pork per night. I make a lot of soups and stews. Now, with congestive heart failure, a little secret. Now, when I went through my initial congestive heart failure, and I was in the congestive heart failure like waiting room before doing my initial paperwork for my follow up stent or whatever it was, and all you see are these charts and posters about congestive heart failure and limiting your liquid intake to a quart and a half to 2 quarts of liquid a day. And I'm looking at that, and I'm somebody who will sit prior to congestive heart failure. A glass like this could have lasted me, I don't know, my first 30 minutes. Maybe I'd have 2 of these through breakfast and another 2 at lunch and a couple in the afternoon. I was probably drinking at least a gallon of fluids. And that was just how I've always been. So I saw that and I was like, I panic. And then initially my doc was like, oh, yeah, 2.5 quarts for you. I'm like, all right. And then I got put on Jardiance, a medication for diabetes, and from my endocrinologist, and he says, I want you to drink enough that your pee is clear. Because when you take something like Jardiance or Farxiga, which I am on now, you pee out a lot of the glucose, a lot of the sugars. And if you don't get them all out of your body part, it could lead to
yeast
infections.
Yeah.
So then I went to my cardiologist and he's saying this. He goes, oh, well, he goes, yeah, you could probably have 3 quarts or so. He goes, I can't even drink 3 quarts of fluids in a day. I'm thinking to myself, I was probably drinking that, sometime by mid-afternoon.
Mm.
I find that I'm drinking less now, which probably also means that my diabetes is under control.
Exactly, because usually, like, you take the water to throw out.
Right. Throw out all the sugars.
Yeah.
But there were times when I go to myself, I think I only had just over 2 quarts today. Or, I had just over 3. You got to do this stuff for you. So I initially was like, I can't have soup. I got to watch every ounce and make it count. It's like,
yeah,
I'm not going to waste my. Now I don't dwell on it. My weight's been pretty steady. I'm trying to get it down. It went up from that initial. Got all the water weight out and then some, and I hit a low of 213. Well, technically 209, because I lost like 4 pounds or 3.5 pounds over one night. That was the night of. That was the following day was my 3rd hospitalization of the year of 2020. That's when I passed out due to dehydration, and low blood pressure. But these are things that, again, everybody has their own unique situation. We're learning that from today's episode, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has. I don't have to worry about salt, but I got to worry about carbs. I don't have
sensitivities.
I don't have to worry so much about carbs. I got to worry about this. I got to worry about saccharin.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's healthy. There's no general healthy diet that I'm going to throw out there and say this works for everybody.
Yeah, it's not a cookie cutter thing.
I've now when I used to talk to my GP and ask him, hey, what should I be doing to control my blood sugar? He's like, eat less sweets and eat less carbs. It's simple advice to give, right? But you as the person have to figure out how you're going to accomplish
How does that work
for
you?
How do I find my substitutes?
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest. We all like our sweets.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe don't like the same sweets. Some people might be like, oh, I don't like chocolates, but I love hard candies. Oh, I don't like hard candies or chocolates, but I like my cookies. You know what? You can find cookies that are made from almond flour that are going to be low in carbs. Now, it doesn't. We found our Oreos.
It doesn't mean that they don't have calories.
Right. Catalina Crunch makes basically fake Oreos.
Yes.
That are lower in carbs. They still have calories. You can't binge on them, but they shouldn't spike your blood sugar.
Right. The portion control is still going to be important no matter what type of diet setup you choose.
Don, so for me, oatmeal with some raisins and low-fat butter. Now, something to keep in mind, and again, neither one of us is a nutritionalist, when it comes to margarines, even when it comes to things like Olivia, which bills itself as with olive oil, keep
That's your
in
mom's thing that she's
yeah,
stuck on.
yeah, keep in mind that they are not made with olive oil as the primary ingredient. They are made usually with sunflower oil, safflower oil,
Like cheaper oils
cheaper
that,
oils that are inflammatory. If you
yeah.
have joint pain, it may be because of these cheaper oils being used. Now, for a while, Rach and I were like, "Oh yeah, we'll get like these margarines are quote better for you." Uh, Now, honestly, what we do, we don't use much butter. Rach uses less than I do, but we get the Land O'Lakes with olive oil.
How could you go wrong with
It's
Land
a nice,
O'Lakes?
it spreads nicely, and you get a little olive oil in it. They have other ones like, oh, it's a
Yeah, the only time I eat that butter or any butter is like
on the cinnamon
on the
toast.
cinnamon toast. I'm fine having bread with like jelly, like the sugar-free jelly.
Mhm.
Um, or just certain breads I can just eat the bread
Right.
itself. Um, but yeah,
So I mean, so
the cinnamon toast.
we've gone to butter, but butter will last us for like a month at the rate that
Hmm.
we have it. But you have to look too because I go, oh look, oh there's that one that's there's a Land O'Lakes tub and it's got with oil and ginger, and you look closely and it's sunflower oil. If I'm going to put oil into my system, I'm not going to put crappy oil into my system. Pauper Night, I have a friend who makes cheesecake in his instant pot. He
Oh
brought it to our D and
wow,
D session one night. The cheesecake, not the instant pot.
that's really
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Because
Uh,
who does not love cheesecake?
Saturnine, ever hear of the FODMAP diet? I
No.
have not.
What does that mean?
Z Wiki, welcome. Uh, Ren Melion, hello. Pauper Night, hubby mentioned you were live. Well, thank you. Thanks for Jess. Yeah, we do this every Saturday night, and we touch upon different topics. We recently did, mostly Rachel did this one, the episode on menopause.
Right.
We've done mental health. Today we're talking healthier eating
Yeah, we've
lifestyles.
done other chronic conditions
Yeah,
and
but and
some mental health stuff.
we've done things on request. We did a nice episode on gaming with legally blind. We had somebody else that was
Yeah.
legally blind. Um, but eating healthy is one thing. Eating healthier, I think, is achievable. Right? I mean, if you set the bar here and you're coming in here and you started out here and you only hit here, you're eating healthier, you're eating better, you've improved your
Right.
habits. That's success. I hate people. It's like, well, I want to diet. And I was supposed to lose 20 pounds and I only lost 7. Well, guess what? You lost 7 pounds. 7 pounds more than you would have been if you weren't changing your eating habits.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to call it diet. I like to call it changing your eating habits, because diets, everybody here hears diet and it's, I just do it and then I'm done. And once I'm done, I can stop doing it. And then that's,
Yeah, no, it's never done.
you know. So, Don, I admit I'm a bit of a food snob. I tend to not like anything that is listed as substitute.
Yeah.
Not due to the flavor, but more I worry about the chemicals used with them
Yeah.
to make the stuff taste real. Exactly. And listen, oh man, we haven't watched Bobby in a while.
No, they haven't been throwing his stuff up.
Yeah, I got to look through it and make sure we bring him back into our YouTube routine. Uh, what's Bobby's last name? Not Bobby. It's not Bobby
I don't
Flav.
think we ever knew. Yeah,
No,
Bobby Flav.
Bobby Flav. All right. So there's a YouTube channel.
Flav City or something.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel out there. Bobby is a nutritionalist, so you can.
Is that what his training is?
Yeah, you can take his app, and I guess if you do a search for Bobby or Bobby Flav on Apple or the Android store, you can take his app, scan a UPC code, and it will tell you if it's approved or not. And things that will get your packaged food not approved One of the things usually is
Natural flavors
natural
is the
flavors.
biggest offender.
It's the biggest lie because it's not natural.
The red 25.
You know, so
The crappy oils like the safflower oil or
yeah, you gotta. There's crappy
canola
oils.
oil.
Another thing to remember too: if you're buying olive oil and the price is too good, it's probably not olive oil. It's probably cut. So if you're looking to buy olive oil and you don't have a brand that you've already grown accustomed to and trust, you want olive oil that's just coming from a single source. Generally speaking, you want something that's coming from
Oh, right. And
just
that it's all from like
one thing.
this village in Italy.
Or right, you don't
Yeah.
want it coming from like 6 different countries
Yeah.
because likely you're getting some crappy oil thrown in there. Don, Eric, and Rach, and this Saturday chat is something I really look
Thank
forward to. You both are seriously awesome.
Thank you.
We look forward to it too.
Yes,
This
most definitely.
This is a great way to close out the week with our friends, our community. It
Yeah.
really
I was
is
happy too to be able to announce like you know, having my blood work come back being really well.
I keep on stumbling. Saturnine. Search for it, FODMAP, and it will make sense. We will do a search after the show, and maybe we'll do a follow up on it.
FODMAP.
FODMAP. You know, I bought all these pens, and I didn't put one pen on this desk. And I don't think that we want to scrape it in there with the clippers, or we can burn it in with the laser light to play with the cat. Great toys for the cats, though, by the way. I don't want to. I should shine it in the camera, or not. Renmel, I default to certain kinds of olive oil. Brands I'm familiar with. Brands from overseas I have to be careful of. The FDA doesn't regulate, so they often use almond oil for filler. Deathly allergic. That's again. That's you really have to. Olive oil is one of the most faked products out there, so you really got to be careful. And if you found brands that you're familiar with and you're comfortable with, stick with them. I don't have an allergy to different olive oil or different oils that I know of, but I do know that, like, my mother, God bless her, she'll be like, "Oh my God, I found this great deal in this big, huge tin of olive oil."
Oh yeah, those ones that will come in that aluminum.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, Mom, it's probably not really olive oil. What? No, I paid.
It said olive oil on the bar.
Yeah, so.
What did the fine print say?
Yeah, this is all about brain, gut, and health. Okay. Yeah. Gut health affects every other system. Exactly.
I have my phone.
Oh, so Rach can do the search in the background. Dun dun dun. Yes, it does. Kerrygold butter is a favorite, but I grew up with it. I can't find Kerrygold. Can we find? I don't think we can find Kerrygold in our
Stop and Shop.
Do they have it? I just never see it. I do know for a good price we have to go to Costco.
Well, and then there's some of the Kerrygold has cheap oils, so you have to look. You have to look. If you're buying the whipped, that's sometimes where you could get into trouble. But just the bars,
right?
Yeah, that's the most.
Right. So if I was cooking, I would probably look for the Kerrygold.
It has a strong taste, just like the cheese. The butter has a stronger taste. Like you can taste the cow in it. I know it sounds bizarre, but you can taste that butter is strong.
Damn you, Irish! Damn you!
Well, I've come to America now, so. I can't handle the Kerrygold.
Renmelion first press, cold press is the rule. And yes, single source. Saturn 9. Okay. Thank you. I'll probably screw that up next time, but for the rest of tonight, I'll probably get it right. Well, did you look it up, Rach?
Yeah, but I'm going to take time later to look at it. So
there. So we'll be able to see Rach. I'm in my phone and I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. But I found it. So
yes.
This way we can
look more into it. Actually, we've also found we've only gone like once or twice now. Lidl.
Lidl. I think they have it nationally now.
Yeah, they have a limited selection, but what they have is usually pretty good. and they have their own brand of butter with olive oil in it. So yeah, it's the whole thing of
And that was nice.
yes, but like listen, we like to snack at night, so I snack on usually a serving of cheese cut up, one serving of cheese cut up into like 40 little cubes, so it lasts me forever. Uh, Depending on night, maybe one of our turkey sausage sticks, the honey brown sugar. Um, we use our Catalina Crunch. So I get that's a snack mix that's very low in carbs. It uses non-carb flours. I like the cheddar one with the little cheese pieces for the crunch. And you've got to find what works. Now, Rach likes her pretzels. I go very light on the pretzels because the pretzels have carbs. They're not hidden. They're legit, but I can have some. And I like to have my red wine at night with it. So,
And what we're doing is we're putting these things into a bowl.
yes, you
The
have
bag does not come out of the kitchen.
Nope.
Because you don't want to sit in front of the TV and eat mindlessly.
Right. So you have to have those servings. Whatever you're serving, you serve it out, and don't find the biggest bowl because your mind does work on the idea of a smaller bowl, larger bowl, same shit in it. Larger bowl looks half empty, right? And the smaller bowl looks full. You're gonna want more. Also, learn to pace yourself while eating. So in my case,
he'll sit there for hours with his stuff.
Yeah, I'll have my little bowl of snacks, and Rach is done in, I don't know, 30 minutes. An hour and a half total for me, probably. And I'll have my glass of wine.
Yeah, because I just do it. I don't. Yeah, the food. If the food's the food, it's not. Yeah. It's not conversation time.
Right.
I'll zone with the TV and whatever, but it's like the experience is the food less than what's on the TV. Then
that's
my attention can only go so many places.
Like for me, I will. I like my red wine at night. I used to like beer, but red wine actually is better for my heart. And I can a beer I'll be like another beer. The wine goes much slower, and if I'm looking at my blood sugar, I get Grazie. It's an online. It's like, oh, it's a box wine. It's a box wine that is low in carbs. They have white, rosé, red. Doesn't spike my blood sugar. Usually actually helps pull it down a little bit. And I find it's got a nice flavor. So these are little things that you can do and work on to, again, I don't say I eat healthy. I eat healthier than the shit that we used to eat and snack on. Hey, bring out the Doritos.
The 4 food groups were basically cookies, cake, candy, and chips.
Cookies, cake, candy. The 4 C's.
Oh, that too.
Ren, swapping in sourdough bread and eating less dairy. I'm a cheeseaholic, so we cut milk intake instead. Okay.
I love sourdough bread.
Cow milk is a fast way to put on weight. It's designed to make a calf into several 100-pound cow.
Yes.
So guess what it does to humans? So for us, we use milk in 2 things. We use milk in our tea. We don't drink coffee.
Some tea.
Some teas. Usually the English, the Irish, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we use it in our cereals, low carb cereals. Now we put it in the cereal to get your cereal wet. We don't drink the leftover milk; it gets tossed out.
It goes down the drain.
And in our teas, it's probably 2 to 3 tablespoons. It's a dollop. It's not a lot. So our milk will last a long time. So we get lactate-free milk. Because without the lactate, lactose-free. The brand is lactate. Yeah. We get the lactose-free milk because the milk lasts longer. And again, I don't cook with it. I don't drink it by the glass. So a lot of times our milk would go bad before we finished it off.
Yeah.
So this just helps us. Now, Tammy, we love corn dogs for a snack. It's a plant-based food. Morningstar Farms is the brand. Also, Tom is
Oh,
able to make
Morningstar. That's so
ice cream. Just need healthy recipes. It's getting warmer. We'll probably break out our Ninja.
Yeah, we'll just move it up to the front.
We had the Ninja ice cream maker.
It's still out there.
Yeah. So we do
and I still have something frozen.
You got 2 things frozen.
Yeah.
We do a lot of sorbets
with berries and pineapples.
So it's a great thing for making sorbets. You put it through the cycle a couple of times. It comes out very smoothly. And the fact that you're having stuff with, like, I don't know, fresh fruit or frozen fruit.
Yeah. So what I'll do,
coconut milk.
Put the coconut water after I fill to the fill line with the fruit. Then in goes the coconut water, and then a little more stevia, so that it's sweet enough, and it always comes out so nice. The texture, everything about it is so good.
Ren, always pull a serving. I'll sit and eat the whole bag, especially if I'm working. Yeah.
Yes.
So once you have a serving, and again, I don't have a serving of just one specific thing. I might have half a serving of pistachios thrown in there too, and so this way, I can put my hand in and go, oh, I got cheese this time. Oh, I've got a thin slice of my turkey sausage, and my flavors keep changing, and I'm not getting bored, because part of the reason I think when you snack so quickly is you get that mindset of it all just tastes the same. I'm just keeping that flavor going, and if you change the flavors in your snacking, I think that you kind of reboot it each time. I'm just spitballing.
You start to recognize what works really nice with what.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Don, Tina loves red wine. I cannot drink it. I'm allergic to the tannins. It gives me a migraine.
Yes.
All right. So, sourdough bread is good for the gut health. Builds your gut microbiome. It's fermented, healthy bacteria. That makes sense, because I happen to love sourdough bread when I can find it, and usually that means
I love sourdough.
When we get back up to the farmers markets in the Poconos,
mm-hmm.
I'll find a sourdough bread.
Cool.
I'm just catching up here. Ren, we use milk and tea and coffee, and way way up typo demon. Laugh out loud. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Raw sugar is a good switch too.
Now, the brown, like,
yep. Now, if you're
like it's not quite brown.
Yeah. Now, here's another little dirty secret out there for those of us that try to think that we're eating healthier, and then wonder why we aren't. Stevia. Stevia is actually very good if you're getting stevia. If you're getting it in the packets, most of those packets are cut with other sweeteners because you want that granulated.
It's probably better not to take it granulated.
Right. So if you want to get stevia, that is generally a pure stevia, and you'll have to look at the ingredients on the label or on Amazon. If you get stevia in a bottle, in a liquid form, 2 or 3 drops will do you. We make fresh lemonade usually in the mornings.
Yes.
Those people say, "Oh, you should have lemon water." Well, we make it lemonade. We squeeze a lemon and 2 or 3 drops of stevia, and it is.
And my nettles go in mine.
And it is delicious. So, but you got to be careful with your alternative sweeteners, because if you're like used to it, and it's convenient, and I have a whole. I didn't learn this until, I don't know, a couple months ago. And then I started looking and went, oh my God, yeah, it is. Lots of
we got to get rid of this one, yeah.
It's cut with erythritol, and a lot of people have issues with
erythritol. And erythritol, in certain studies, has shown an impact on heart health.
Yeah.
So
if
you already have an issue, leave that alone.
I was dealt some bad cards after 9/11, and I like to play better cards than the ones that were dealt to me.
So what's nice about stevia, like I have it in a couple. We have it in that liquid form. I have it in leaf form also for. Cause I'm a big loose tea person, so we have a lot of loose tea in the house, like for herbal infusions. And while some of them do come with stevia leaves, others do not. And so, uh, I like to use that too. Um, just cool to know that there's a leaf that can do it.
Now, we have a tea.
Mhm. Yeah, we have this one that we've been drinking lately. It's a sencha tea with a bunch of different herbs,
Including stevia.
and stevia leaves in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't need
So
to
that was
sweeten it.
kind of cool to see.
That,
So you just pop your bag and pour your water, done. You don't even need milk.
That's
Like
from.
you wouldn't put milk for an herbal.
What company was that again?
This company is called Herbally.
Herbally, thank you. Now, Herbally, if you sign up on the website, you'll get onto their text message list. Every once in a while, there'll be hey, buy, 3 bags of this tea and get 3 free or whatever.
And they have
That's
a
the best
really
time to
good blood pressure tea. That one was so good. It had
Yeah.
like rose and lavender,
So
and many different other things that help to decrease blood pressure.
Yeah, there's no affiliate links on the stuff that we're throwing out there. We just want you to know about it, and if it works for you, it works for you.
Yeah, just these are things that we've come across.
A couple of weeks ago, we did an episode on supplements. Since then, I've done a little research on stuff that's
well, that's an ever expanding thing.
because and I think for my blood sugar, I think we've tweaked it pretty well. But there's other stuff that helps your heart and strengthens your heart, or lowers your blood pressure, or helps with the cholesterol. Can't hurt, right? Because I've already got a heart condition. I want to play the best cards and get myself into the best. So we'll probably do an update to that maybe in a week or two,
right,
after we see if this stuff has an effect that's noticeable. Tom, I used to drink 2 pots of coffee a day.
Oh wow!
I decided to cut sugar and milk in the coffee, and now I can't stand milk and sugar in my coffee.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And you still have a taste for the coffee.
Ren, Seattle's best Post Alley is a great coffee without milk and sugar. If you have a Keurig, we have a mini. You can get a reusable filter so it lasts longer. We had a slower intake. And if you make your own sourdough, you can make brownies, rolls, everything with the discard. Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, I have a friend who does a lot of sourdough in her house, and she has this base that it keeps feeding the next one.
Saturnine, I put MCT oil in my coffee. It's a derivative of coconut and comes in a powder that tastes like cookie dough.
Ooh, that's what that is.
I know, Rach's like, that sounds tempting. Ren Melion. My husband, Paul Bernite, is Italian. I'm pretty sure his blood morphed into coffee a long time ago. We have a few brands we like, wide variety. And Don, 2 pots of coffee are actually a norm for me.
Oh, okay.
I mean, honestly, for a while, when I was working midnights, tea, I would go to work every day. I would bring 4 Irish Keurig cups with some half and half. You have these shelf stable half and half, and Splenda probably back then. And I would bring this in every day, and I had a 20-ounce coffee cup, and I would use my 1 Keurig cup to make 20 ounces of tea, and I would do that 4 times during my shift. So I was drinking probably 80 ounces or so of tea every night, and then wondered why I would have to have trouble falling asleep when I got home. But that's when Rachel's sister's father-in-law, who was a retired assistant police chief in Connecticut and used to work off hours, told me that he goes, and his advice was great. It was perfect. He's like, you could eat about a serving of cheese, like an ounce of cheese, and it goes a small glass of red wine, and you'll be asleep in 15 minutes.
And it was true.
It was true.
I mean, I've never tried it because I haven't needed to really.
It worked for me.
Yes, it worked for you.
So, Ren, my favorite tea currently is Harney and Sons Hot Cinnamon Sunrise. That actually.
Oh, that sounds gorgeous.
Rachel's like, let me look that up right away. Tom, Pilayo is a Brazilian import that makes espresso look like decaf. Sent it to my brother in Iraq and accidentally gave a doctor in his hospital tachycardia.
Oh,
I guess he had a
strong stuff. Yeah, maybe we'll stay off that. We don't need tachycardia. That makes me crazy. That makes me so uncomfortable.
My God, yeah. The problem with Pilayo is that you can only get it in America from a Brazilian import store, and the closest one of those is in Boston.
Oh, okay.
So, Pauper Night, to be fair, when I was working in a restaurant, I drank close to 6 cups of coffee a day. Now I drink about 14 ounces a day. My father lives on coffee. If you took coffee out of his diet...
I mean, when I worked long hours, yeah, I would sometimes get the
bigger...
Yeah, these big iced coffee. Oh. Because the warm things would make me want to go to sleep.
Okay.
And then, but the cold would keep me moving and, alert.
If you say so, Rach. If you say so.
Okay, darling.
All right. So here, I'm going to throw something out because we have a pretty full room. If you have an idea that you would like us to cover on Gamers Health, we are going to do a heart special. We are going to do that. I got a number of friends. Some of them are in the room right now. That we're going to invite as guests.
That's cool.
Now, the heart special might actually be a series. There's actually a number of people in our community, in the gaming community in general, in the OSR in particular, that have heart conditions ranging from congestive heart failure. They've had heart attacks. They've had other issues. And I want to make sure that they all have a chance to talk. So it might be, we have guests come on.
What do you mean that you do like maybe highlight one person's story?
It might be everybody. It might
maybe do like different aspects of it.
I'm actually thinking that we might be bringing people on to talk about and other stuff, but maybe bring people in as we'll schedule some guests and have them talk about
a certain condition.
Yeah, and just how
just go through the highlights.
How they are dealing with it, what has changed in their life. My life changed immensely. I am better for it. Don't get me wrong. I have more energy. I am more energetic. I feel better. Having my heart condition come to the point where I knew I had a condition, as opposed to just killing me in my sleep, was obviously very beneficial. But there's something about you finding yourself. You're walking in the dark, and all of a sudden the light gets turned on, and you're looking over a precipice. And you're like, what the fuck? And it's like, whoa, this can't be the only way forward. And then you have to find another path. And I found that other path. And everybody's that path that I find is not the path that you're going to find or the path that your significant other is going to find. We all got to find it. But a lot of times
it opens differently for each person.
Right. But a lot of times it takes you getting to that point to go, holy shit, because listen, I was a cop for 20 years. Part of being a cop, a successful one, to be someone who can deal with the challenges on a daily basis and go through doors where somebody might have a gun or something else waiting for you, you have to believe in your own immortality, your own invulnerability. You're putting I couldn't tell you the number of times in the late 90s I got stuck with needles, tossing crackheads, because we were narcotics. It was, you stopped making notifications to a medical division because why? All right. So if it's meant for me, it's meant for me. Otherwise, I'm invulnerable. So you believe that, and part of, I guess my genesis, my awakening was realizing, no, you dumb fuck, you're not invulnerable. You were just lucky,
Mm.
you know. And I think that's part of it. So that's when we want to bring people on to tell their own stories. You've heard Rachel and I speak every week, and we appreciate you all being here. But we want to hear from others. And now I'm gonna Rach can talk for a bit as I catch up on the chat.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. So giving space to other people on here is going to be a big deal for
Yeah.
us. Like being able to share this and, you know, give other people a platform to, you know, share about their medical conditions. You hear about us ad nauseum. So it's going to be very special to change it up and have others talk about their experience. And the same way, I think we'd love to do that for anybody else who has any type of chronic conditions. They could be autoimmune disorders,
Yes.
like I have, or genetic differences, like I have. They can be just anything, any medical issue, any like type of difference that impacts you, whether it be physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all
Yeah.
of that. So
Well, I mean, the reason why we do these shows, and Tammy, you're definitely going to be one of our guests.
yeah, absolutely.
But the reason why we do this and why it's so important for us is, listen, we both did, our careers are both careers of service.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Rach was a social worker. I was a cop. Just because we left our careers of service, as my niece told me when she was 5 when I retired, uh, Uncle, just because you're giving up your costume and your shield doesn't mean you stop being a police officer,
All
right?
right.
That was a remarkably insightful thing for that kid to say at the time, because
Mm-hmm.
it was important for her to think that I'd still be there to protect the family,
Yeah.
protect our friends, our
Yeah.
community. And this is part of that. And part of, in general, being told that you have cancer, been there, congestive heart failure, been there, possibly had a heart attack, been there. Don't know if I did, probably did. Didn't know when I had it. But all this stuff and other stuff, being told these things, that any of them, like,
Yeah.
I could lose my life. Everybody either goes through it or is close to somebody who's gone through it. And it sucks to feel like I'm the only one. No, you're not. And that's a lot of reason why we do what we do.
Right. There are certain conditions that are rarer than others, but
Yes.
is it that you're the only one? Generally not, Um it's always a miracle, like, when you meet other people who have experienced some of the same things
Right.
that you have.
And just to know, maybe this isn't what I'm going through, but my God, somebody else is going through shit too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and how did they get through it? And how do you, as family, support that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the support I got was great. I came back out of the hospital second hospitalization that year, and there was if there was salt listed as an ingredient that gave more than 100 milligrams, it had left the county. All right, it was no longer anywhere near. We had to rebuild our pantry and all the other stuff.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
had an empty pantry when
Yeah.
he came home.
So these are just things that we're going to talk about. Saturn 9 after the big Kahuna, everything changes. That's for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't change, it likely means that you've given up. I've got too much to give to my family, my friends, my community, to myself.
Yeah.
I've got too much to give to myself and of myself to step back and go,
Exactly.
They're still talking coffee, Rach. I
Uh-huh.
am. Coffee is this thing that like binds people. Now, just as an aside, I've had coffee in my life I think 3 times. Okay, can't stand the smell of it.
Oh, I love the smell of it.
But and all the times I had coffee were job related. I believe it was 2 times at people's homes when I was taking a report, and all they could do was offer coffee or water, and I knew I didn't want to drink the tap, even though I knew the coffee was coming from the tap. At least the coffee I could sip and leave. And once at a Mets game where it was in the late '90s and it was damp and miserable, and they wouldn't cancel the game, and I was working the game, and I was miserable, and they had no tea and they had no hot chocolate. All they had was coffee, and I had to drink coffee. So, ugh.
I enjoy coffee. I just don't make it in the house. Like, I'll get it from outside occasionally, or a friend of ours will make.
All
She
right.
always it likes to offer, and so I'll take because it's good. And but don't ever make it at home. It's very strong,
All
and
right.
so like if you want to use like your Keurig for like other things,
Oh yeah,
the coffee dominates.
yeah.
You
I had
know.
to I had to run 2 20-ounce
Oh
through it
yeah,
beforehand,
yeah,
and then beg people not to run.
yeah. We don't own a coffee maker. We basically have like
Maybe
our
Keurig.
kettle and our Keurig.
Yeah. So here now now just to prove to you that I can be purely stupid and clueless. Uh, Ren Mi Leon, because I couldn't. I'm looking at the avatar now. So yep, I should have had a fucking V8.
Renmillion.
Ren Mi. It's here. Ren Mi Leon, I guess. I don't know. I screw up names when I should know how to pronounce them. Ones that I don't know how to pronounce, are out of luck. I do a lot of podcasts and speaking on wellness. I've been my own advocate for 22 years now. God bless.
Oh.
We are
Yeah, we're
good amateurs.
newbies.
Yeah, we're passionate because honestly, when I was in the hospital for those 3 weeks or so with congestive heart failure, I knew that if I got out of there, I was doing something about gamers' health. It was driving me, and Rach heard me talking about it for the longest time, and it's like, you know what? Let's just do it as a video. Let's just do it as that part of the YouTube channel. And then we were like,
It just kind of took off. It just kind of became part of
yeah.
things.
So Ren, systemic primary lymphedema that cascaded into ADD, type 2 diabetes, and a myriad of other things. Wow. God bless you. I had Hodgkin's.
Yeah.
God, 16 years ago, 17 years ago. Which I was not a type 2 diabetic before that, but the chemo was nice enough to bring that to the forefront, and I've kept that ever since. So well done there, 9/11. But yeah, it's those things that what do they say? That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? That it helps. You get forged a bit in adversity. Hopefully it makes us all better. Ren, thank you for your service. Have a lot of friends who are police officers. I don't envy their jobs.
Yeah.
I can't see myself having done anything else for those 20 years. It was the best experience of my life personally. Were there bad days? Certainly. Were there bad months? Certainly. Did I work with or under some shitty people? Definitely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But in the end, it was the most rewarding job I could have asked for. And it taught me a lot of skills. Gaming taught me a lot of skills that helped me as a cop. Because if you didn't know what to do as a cop, I quickly learned role play it. And my mind's going, why
That's
am I
cute.
pretend? If you don't know what to do, what would you do if it was a role playing game and you had to get? Oh, all right, then. Worst that can happen is I'm wrong, or at least I'll be doing something. Don's now talking about coffee. I'm going to ignore the coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Let's have a coffee clutch, folks. Yeah, pauper. I was literally the only person in my unit in the late '90s that wouldn't drink coffee, and they would make fun of me. And I
Oh,
was,
I love the smell of it.
I didn't like
I have
this.
a perfume that is has coffee note in it.
Okay, I'm not a coffee person. Never have been. Never wanted to be. My father like, oh, drink coffee. Put hair in your chest. I think, Dad, I've got hair on my chest. I don't need it anymore. It's like
Cute.
Don. His my daughter's a manager at Starbucks. We are stocked with good coffee all the time.
Nice.
People do not realize the difference between good coffee and bad. Well, here's the thing, and this goes for a lot of stuff. If all you know is the bad and you happen to like the bad, then you don't ever think that there's anything better, right?
Hmm.
Bad coffee. I like coffee. What is it? I drink. I don't know. What's it? Master House,
Maxwell House.
Maxwell House, or
Folgers.
uh, Chuck full of
Chock
nut.
full of nuts.
Chock full of nuts is that
Heavenly
heavenly coffee. Better coffee a millionaire's money can't buy. Yeah, I doubt that. Oh, Ren, me, Leon. Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh. Huh.
I'm gonna stick with Ren because again, I trust me. I butcher names, and I butcher names with the best of intentions too. My story for butchering names is I'm a rookie sergeant, and all my cops they were NYPD. Everybody wears a name tag, and I'm looking at because I'm horrible at remembering names, so I was like, oh, thank God, it has a name tag on, and I see a name. It's a V. It's obviously Spanish, and I'm going to pronounce it with my best New York Spanish inflection. Villejas, Villegas. I look at the name again. I go, this is Villegas is like a dumb American saying it. And he goes, Sarge, I'm Argentinian, German descent. I went, all right, never mind. We'll just continue with this. It's like,
Well, that's the thing. Like when you work in healthcare or I guess police work, uh, you you want to get people's name
yes.
correct, and you have a lot of different names because we come from the most diverse square mile in the country, so
Yep.
we have a lot of different ones.
Coffee flour. Never heard of it.
Huh.
Ren, I used to do a podcast, Coffee with Panda here. We talked about all the things. We could do a joint podcast if you want sometime. Gamers Health iStream is personal for us.
Oh.
Yeah, that's. Listen, we'd love to have. Yes, we're gonna have to figure out a schedule. I
She mean like a collab, or they mean
yeah,
a collab?
yeah, joint podcast.
Yeah.
That'd be fun because this is important to us because of you all. I mean, honest to God, it's why we're here. At your feedback, your chat, your ideas
Yeah.
make our lives better and makes our experience here better. And this is why we look forward to this. As somebody put it to me, 6 days a week I'm Tenkar, 1 day a week I'm Eric.
Yeah.
And that's what you get here. Sat, when I was in the ICU, a member of the American Heart Association paid me a visit and gave me some of the best advice I'd ever heard.
Oh.
Ren, don't tell Pauper about the coffee scented perfume. We'll never get anything done. Faye, not exactly coffee, but if you're interested in improving your health, get some beetroot powder and have that in the morning, about 1 to 2 teaspoons in a cup of water. I used to.
You had some kind of beetroot thing.
I had beetroot capsules, the powder and capsules, and it was supposed to be good for both your heart and I just want to. I just forgot to refill in my beet thing, but beetroot was
we
good.
never eat beet.
Yeah, beetroot was good though for your blood sugar and your heart, if I recall correctly. So the twofer.
Yeah,
Boy.
we don't take that naturally, even so.
Yeah, I'm not a.
Could see that being
I'm
something
not a beet
good
person.
to supplement.
Yeah. like, listen, my advice when we did the episode a few weeks ago on our
I mean, those
supplements,
lollies that you have for low blood sugar emergencies,
they have
they have beetroot
but for color only.
sugar. Oh, it's for color.
It's for
It's
color.
not to sweeten.
No, it's just for coloring. But when we did the episode about supplements, like I said, add one supplement at a time, stick with it for a week or two, and then see the kind of effect that it has on you. Because if you're going to have a negative effect, heartburn, indigestion, diarrhea, nausea, you need to know what's causing it. And if you've added one thing, like when I came out of the hospital and they put me on all these meds, I didn't know what was giving me the shits for the longest time until I went to the Poconos and I forgot my metformin, because that metformin wasn't put into my my pill collection. It was taken with meals, and then my stomach settled down, and I realized, oh my God, it was the metformin. I was blaming it on the Brilinta because I wanted to get rid of an expensive medication.
See, attribution without basis is not good. I was like, that has to be the culprit. That's expensive stuff.
Yes. Beet powder makes Metamucil taste better. That was Tom. Beets, bananas, and blueberries as a smoothie is really good. Yeah, otherwise I don't do
that
beets
sounds
either.
like it could be.
Ryan, yes, Sat, what was the advice? I'd like to, the advice that I was given with my nutritionalist when I was in the hospital, because I would always getting tea with Splenda, because and it was a good hospital too, but they didn't have any kind of natural sweetener. You had sugar or Splenda. And he was like, listen, I know you're a type 2 diabetic and we got to watch your carbs, and what I could take for my meal was based upon my point allowance. He's like, but he goes, I'd rather just give you regular sugar than give you Splenda or a diet soda. I was like, really? He goes, really? He goes, in the long run, he goes, regular sugar is probably going to be better for you than the diet sweeteners you get here.
Yeah, we don't even buy generally diet soda much anymore.
No, we have
with the McDonald's.
Yeah, but we have our what do you call it? Our Soda Stream.
Yes,
right.
We have ginger stuff.
Ginger syrup, which actually is sweetened with cane sugar, but enough to sweeten a 20-ounce cup glass.
Yeah, with just 2 tablespoons.
Is 50 calories, and I can handle that much in the way of carbs. It's not gonna, it's got a lot of flavor and it settles the stomach down. So these are, again, is there a perfect diet? No. Are there better diets than you're on? Possibly. Ren, if it's good for you, don't count. Only count the bad stuff. Pretty soon you will stop eating the bad stuff because it's more work. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, like the other night, Eric had we had I guess some leftover McDonald's, and Eric he cooked that up, but before he'd bring salad. And so I was like, all right. And I was really digging the salad. And I was like, well,
I can let the other stuff go.
I ate this salad. This was good. And I'm satisfied. I had a couple of fries. And I was like, I kind of lost my interest in these.
Yeah.
And they went in the garbage. It's like, you can throw certain things in the garbage.
Ren, Mediterranean is the closest to perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that. We've read that. I've heard that from doctors.
Mm-hmm. So lean meats, fish,
olive oils.
Yeah, flatbread, veggie.
Yeah, it's again, if
chickpeas.
if the way I used to be in my younger years, in my 30s, maybe my 40s. I could do a binge diet. I could go on the Atkins diet and be on the Atkins diet for months.
Yes, me too.
And then,
I did that too.
And then stop it. And then...
Well, everything would come back.
Yeah.
On, and that sucked.
And then I did a another diet. I was like, oh, I feel it had these. You remember the old cards you used to be able to put together with like make your own.
Deal a meal from Richard Simmons.
Not quite, but
oh.
but what you did is you found your body type by flipping these cards to find your trunk and your midsection and
to eat like if you were an apple
or
or
whatever.
a pear,
Yeah, and they kind of had a diet based upon
now
what
they're
your
talking
body.
about like the blood type diets, like if you have O or AB or A or B, and that you have to eat different for your blood type. I don't know. Let's see. Need to look at that a little.
Ren,
more.
we don't eat past 7 p.m. Important, but we are night owls, so we were adjusting, going to bed earlier, up earlier, and finding healthier snacks if we have to. Us, we're lucky if we eat our dinner completely by 7. And now here's the thing too. So now I'm on a once a week injectable. God,
Mounjaro.
Thank you. I don't know Ozempic.
No.
Mounjaro, and I find that if I'm having, especially if it's a larger meal, heck, even if it's a fast food meal, I gotta eat it in like stages because I get full, and I'll just put it aside for half an hour. So, and I like to snack late at night. I like to have my wine before I go to sleep. As we're watching, sometimes mindless YouTube videos, sometimes ones that are about health. But again, we pre-measure our snacks, and we're not up early in the morning. I think we're up sometime between 10 and 11 in the mornings.
Yeah.
Such is the life of the retired people here. So, your brain needs carbs, though, and full Atkins can be dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, I did full Atkins for like probably 9 months to a year.
Yeah, the thing is,
and I stayed like for at least 6 of those months. I was on the induction, like and the
right.
it was like 10 milligrams of the
10
grams or whatever it was.
10 grams of carbs.
Yes.
Because after that, I think you graduated to like 40.
I couldn't quite get that right.
Yeah.
And I messed it up and just started eating random shit.
So, yeah.
Yeah, not nice.
I was doing Atkins while working in the evenings in the South Bronx in the late 90s. So your food options were fast food.
Yeah.
Or
the Chinese.
And the problem with the Chinese food is
hold the rice, please.
If you held the rice, there was nothing edible.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times my dinners would be the Slim Jim sausage stick and with cheese. Get 2 of those. And like a diet iced tea or something like that. And that would be my dinners. Everybody else was having like Taco Bell and White Castles. Again, it's the South Bronx. The advice was that you have to live for yourself, and that unless someone has been what you have been through, what you have been through, they won't understand. Let go of the past and don't worry about what others expect from you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge part of it too. Only you can live your life. And only you can make positive change.
Yeah.
I know that it can frustrate family if you like. Oh, I know I could fix you if you only let me. That's not for you to do. That's for the individual person. Like I said, for me, I had to get to the precipice. I had to look over the edge and go, "Holy shit! That's what death looks like. That's how close I am." No, thank you very much. I'll take a rain check, please. No, don't bother giving me the rain check. You can keep the rain check. I'm gonna go and figure this one out for myself. Thank you very much. So the best advice the best feedback I got was about a year after my congestive heart failure, and I have 2 heart docs, and one's a congestive heart failure specialist, and I'm there for an appointment. I'm talking to him. He's looking at my numbers. And he's like, your numbers are spot on. Everything here looks really good. I'm like, thank you. He goes, I wouldn't even know that you have heart failure. He goes, you don't have signs of it. Your numbers are strong. He goes, this is great. He goes, so, I'm going to let you know. You're doing exactly what I would do if I was in your shoes.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
But he goes, but I have the education. He goes, I have, you know, college, med school, advanced training,
Mm-hmm.
research. And he goes, you're doing what needs to get done. And he goes, and it was also funny too, because he goes, you know, in addition to that, he goes, I mentioned things like, you know, when I mentioned to him I was on Jardians, he's like, oh, that's great, Jardians. I goes, I wanted you want something like that. He's like, yeah, well, I did a little research and I see it's good for the heart, and that there's studies that for actually heart failure, they're talking about prescribing Jardians just for it. He goes, you read that study? I went, well, I read the recap of the study. He goes, because I like to know what I'm putting
I
in.
read the abstract because I didn't want to pay for the whole book.
Right. And he goes like, so he was impressed. And then he also said something that to me, I took to heart. And that's when I think we decided to start not just talking about doing something for the community, but starting this.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and as a doctor.
Yes, I think that was something
I
that
think
was a
that's,
big
yeah.
push.
Yeah.
You know, because he was like, you're here for something.
Yeah. He's like, he's a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and he
goes like,
broke things down spiritually too.
Yeah. He goes like, do you believe in a higher power? Didn't say, do you believe in God? Do you believe in.
Right.
And
neutral.
Right. And it's a Catholic hospital.
Yeah.
St. Francis out in Long Island. He goes, do you believe in a higher power? I go, well, yeah, I do. He goes, good, because there's a purpose in your life. I went, he stepped back, you know, I leaned back and go, what? He goes, there's a purpose in your life. You are here for a reason. And he goes, and the reason you might be here is to inspire people. He goes, I don't know, but you're here for a reason. And it was the second time I had a doctor say anything like that. When I was going through Hodgkin's, I had to see a pulmonary specialist, because part of what can happen is that that stuff can damage your heart. And pulmonary specialist was a friend of my oncologist and was able to take me on short notice, and I, you know, tested me ahead of time. My numbers suck shit because I had a tumor pressing on my lungs. Mm-hmm. But at the end of it, I got, you know, she was like, oh, your numbers look really good. And she goes, let me talk to you in my office. And she's like, just want to let you know. Whew. She didn't say higher power. She was like, God has a purpose for you. He goes, he didn't take you on 9/11. He's not taking you with cancer. I was like, I'm still in shock.
Yeah.
She's like, listen, I'm a cancer survivor. I put my faith in God. She goes, I have my faith in God. If there's a purpose in your life, and you will fulfill it.
So you have two of them saying this to
you. Not the conversation I expected to have it tonight. Oh, yeah. Jesus. But when you have people that we, as the average layman, look at and go, oh, they're doctors.
Follow the science.
They all believe they're God. They all believe they're a higher power. They control life. Talk to you about God.
But you know what's interesting? The specializations, like breath.
Yes.
Like the pulmonary was a breath like I guess I think of breath doctor.
Oh yeah.
And then doctor. Like the heart doctor, So that goes to the spiritual stuff, like the breath and the heart.
Yeah, you got to see the real Eric. Now, I'm going to probably close it out a little bit. We're almost here for 2 hours, but the me that when I was active, when I was a cop for my 20 years, would be able to talk about that story without getting emotional, because what I did for 20 years as part of my survival
was turn it on and off.
Yeah, and I could do it skillfully.
Or turn it off for the most part.
Turn it off for the most part. Mm-hmm. And every once in a while it would leak out, and I'd have that, day where you're almost like bedbound because you're letting all this stuff come through you. And then you'd be like, time to shut it off, go back to it. Like when my mother's cousin, basically my aunt, we got to go and, he was losing his mind, and my wife's dead. It's like, oh, Jesus, can't be. He must be out of his mind. Oh, she was dead. And I had to turn it off, my emotions, to see a woman who I known all my
Right.
life.
Just
And
see this as just a woman, who appears this way.
yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like,
yeah,
instead of, oh my God,
right. It didn't have to.
Mary Lou,
I mean,
no.
in my career, how many
Yeah.
times did I have to check somebody for a pulse?
Yeah.
Usually, they were dead. The natural causes ones were usually dead for a couple of days. You know it. This was recent. This happened like a few hours before she had a heart attack when she was on the bowl, and it was just and you looking at somebody who was like an aunt to you at the same time. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, turn it off. And don't anybody else come upstairs. I got like Rach was downstairs with my father.
Yeah, he
It's
wouldn't let
like,
me come out because I thought, hey, out of respect, even if she,
nah, no, it's like,
you have to try.
no. I was like, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It body is,
Because we were both trained in
yeah.
CPR.
And I was like, but that was because I was the attitude. I was like, I'm going to take this on myself, spare the rest of my family.
Mm-hmm.
In retirement, I have found that I can allow this stuff to play through. Stuff that probably at the time when I heard
that
it,
you're able to experience it now.
yeah.
For
All right,
as it is.
that's right. Yeah. We do the eat right for your blood type combined with this is your brain on food.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that's legit.
Yep. Sad, good advice. There are some things that have scientific proof, but your wellness and nutrition is what works for you. And there's we're always finding new things out, especially when it comes to natural supplements and vitamins, because there isn't money in them. So the studies are slow. Money is always in the medications that can be monetized. But
right, in the new
yep.
patented medicine. Yeah. And what else can they use it for to be able to renew the patent?
Yep. Ren, pro tip, and this is an important pro tip. Anything white, rice, potatoes, pasta, make it the night before. After 24 hours in the fridge, it cuts the glycemic index by 50%.
Okay. Yeah, we were just watching something about
Yes.
bread and how if you freeze it, then toast it,
it lowers the glycemic index
by 30%.
Yeah, 30 or 40%.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Sat when I was waiting in the for the anesthesia to kick in. I asked them to play the theme of the $6 million man on the ceiling monitor from YouTube. When I my last medical procedures, all three of them for stents. My surgeon thankfully likes classic rock, so there's a lot of Billy Joel playing, and of course you're like, they tell you, like, the nurse is like, well, do you have any quest, any kind of, I'm like, whatever the surgeon wants, the surgeon gets. I want him to be in his zone as he opens up my crotch to go through my heart. I don't. I don't. Whatever makes him feel good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. But yeah, if I was a cat and I had 9 lives, I've probably burned off, I don't know, 4, 5. Thank you, Ren. And Tammy, thank you. I'm not totally vulnerable. I am. I when I let it out, I let it out. If and it's not like, and that isn't one of the stories. Like, if I tell you the story later on about when I was under the blade to have my my hacky sack removed when I had a port.
Yeah.
And if I tell that story, then I can laugh about it. By the way, that was one I probably should have died on the operating table. And
5.
So that goes back to the end of Hodgkin's. So yeah. But there are ones that are emotional that I guess are personal, and I don't think about on a daily basis, weekly. I don't think about it. So when this comes up, it's like, oh shit, yeah. And I was still in cop mode back then, and of course wasn't feeling any of this shit. So, oh wow, thank you, Justin. Hold on.
What are you putting up?
Nothing. I'm just gonna screenshot this. I just have to make sure. I can't believe. I guess he woke up from his stupor.
From his stupor. Oh.
Just, dude, I'm only gonna put you on the screen, dude. So,
just dude.
Thank you, Ren. All right, now let's 1, 2, 3. Just want to make sure it's on the screen. And I grabbed it all before I blocked him. There we go. Here I come to save the day.
Just an asshole.
Just an asshole. That's what it was. It was just an asshole.
I was looking for Rod. I just feel
I know.
so bad. Rod didn't make an appearance.
An alternate ego of his did. That's okay. To agree with. Let me go back and actually read the real stuff. Agree with Tammy. Thank you. The parenting and realness are refreshing. I can see why my husband is watching you. Nice to meet you both. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I again. If you're going to put yourself out there, you can put yourself out there as a caricature of yourself or an idolized version of yourself, or you can just be true to yourself. And
that's it.
My first 2 podcast episodes, I tried putting on an affected voice, which I thought it was going to sound better as a radio voice, and it wasn't me. I'd rather hear an obvious fucking New Yorker that curses like a sailor at times and is emotional at times. Although talking about Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro does not get me this worked up. You don't see that in the regular video.
Right, no. And none of them are worth that.
Rent, Tammy, I can have a whole episode on the medical industry here. The general rule here in the U.S. is that if there's no pill, there's no insurance.
Yeah.
You're right.
And it's always about the billing.
Indeed. I wish I could blame this on my sinuses on allergies. But I'm allergic to memories from 16 years ago. All right. Glad Pauper's in the kitchen. Medical details make him hit the floor. Oh wow! Yeah, I will save my under the blade to have the hacky sack removed for a later date.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yes, Don.
You got to save a little something.
Yes, fuck faces here. Screen grab. So did I. But I also put it up on the screen just to make sure it is grabbed forever.
Saved for posterity and perpetuity.
Yes, Tammy. Sorry, Justin. My heart has given a clean bill of health. Yes, it was. Okay, Ark. Thank you, Tammy. Don, you brought nothing into. This is all.
No, that's him. He brings this shit here.
Yeah. He who shall not be named, otherwise known
that person brings their pile of shit life and trifling ways in here. And we just shut it down.
Right. So I only post as myself.
Uh-huh.
All right, dude.
Okay, so we have what? Just dude?
Just dude. Wow. Rod.
So dear. Then we have Rod Cooper.
Mario.
And
Jigglypoo.
Oh my God.
Don't forget Jigglypoo.
No, how could we?
All right, Tom, there was no money down on this one. All right. At some point, somebody has to wake up from their meth bender, and
Justin's would show up. Nice.
There was, so
because he couldn't spell justice. He was trying to figure out.
Yeah. Let's not. We'll leave it where it's at on that one. All right. You can only go so far with a 4th grade education. Give the benefits to the man. Ren, I adore New Yorkers. They're straight up no chaser. I'm blunt as a train wreck, so they speak my language. First hubby's duty station was Philly on an aircraft carrier. Ex-Navy wife, USS Kitty Hawk. God bless you. You essentially served. Okay. If you're a military wife, you've essentially served.
Yeah, the family serves with. So.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna start calling him Voldemort. Thank you.
What does that mean, Voldemort?
He who shall not be named.
I'm so sorry.
He who shall not be named. Voldemort.
That's the translation?
No, but that is
or the character.
The character. was always he who shall not be named. Because if you said the name, it could give power, because names have power.
Oh.
So,
I like that, Voldemort.
yeah.
I'll have to remember.
And we can never forget Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff.
I think part of our did that come up in the paperwork?
I don't think so.
I don't
I think he would have been too embarrassed.
Well, I think he'd have to admit that he
was that individual.
Yeah. Or Tom's like, or Voldemort.
Who?
Bald as in lacking hair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Right. Essentially, I've always said the military wives should be considered active duty too. Well, you are, because you're living through it, and it's not vicariously. You're living through everything because you have all the worries as if you were living there with them, but you don't. And then therefore, what do you always assume? You always assume the worst. Okay. I mean, on 9/11, the first thing that I wanted to do on 9/11 was call my parents and start the round robin that I'm alive. And none of our phones would work. None of them. My whole 8-1, eight cops and my sergeant, none of our phones worked. Everybody's trying. And then we found a phone on the floor. And sure as shit, this lost phone worked. And my sergeant made an executive decision. She's like, everybody gonna get, remember, this is 2001. Phone calls cost money.
Oh, yeah. It was the minutes.
There's no such thing as a free phone call.
Yeah.
And she was like, everybody, you get like 2 minutes to call one person and have that one person call everybody else. And I did. I called my parents and they started the round robin. And my friends were already, it's like 8 o'clock at night. I mean, thank God we actually found the phone. But I'd already had friends that worked in the towers that were calling, looking for me because they figured I was probably down there. They were right. We lost one friend in the towers, one of my gaming buddies, Paul. God bless him. But, that was like a minor miracle to find that phone that was able to stop the worrying.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine being the spouse of somebody in the military and you have that constant nagging worry on a daily basis.
Like, we couldn't call until like later because like the phones didn't dial outside the 5 boroughs at this place where I worked in a therapeutic community. So, and like nobody really had a cell phone then.
Right.
It was like, because, we were like starting out social workers and substance abuse counselors. So we weren't making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then, interestingly, like, when I talked to my mom, it was like, oh, well, let's go to AT&T and look at what kind of packages they have for cell phone. And that weekend I got it.
There you go. Time. Yeah. You need it. Well, since we had the wonderful unannounced special guest, and we've hit the 2-hour mark. Holy crap. Awesome. It's we know we have an amazing community.
Yeah, wow.
You're awesome.
That was an amazing show.
All right, so I will start putting together a list of the people that we want to invite on, and like I said, we'll probably do, I think, one a week, because having a half dozen guests on at one time is not going to be very useful. But we'll talk more than just whatever the health issue is that our guest is going through, because everything goes beyond that anyway.
Right. You could give basics to help people understand what the dysfunction is.
Yeah.
And then, go into your experience of it.
Right. So we'll work this out. So we're going to wrap this up. As always, be safe, be well. God bless. I mean that really tonight, because you all were great support for this shit that I happened to relive, which wasn't bad stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's just emotional stuff. Really, I can't thank you all enough. Tomorrow will be a regular video. Next live stream will be Wednesday. We got a special guest. I'm not even sure who's lined up for it. Might be Greg Christopher. I have to double check. And other than that, thank you all.
Thanks so much. and take great care.
Laters.